slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that. Spitting slow, spitting fast. I could roast, I could gas. Think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past. And the pettiness, a reflection of the emptiness. Hilarious, you think you're worth my time, you're delirious. Mysterious, because you hide behind a fake exterior. Inferior, you know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains at last, and to believe in what you got, it was built to last, yeah.
Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Gonna learn the consequence of being incompetent. Mental health is confidence, dreams and some honestness. I'm not here to save the day, that's for you to take away. I could play a million mind games, but instead I say something not illogical, something that is topical. Rub it on and watch it go, make yourself unstoppable. Dreams are irresponsible, but they're always possible. If you just believe, you could be so remarkable.
Thoughts in my head, a collage and they spread. I'll be great one day, going off of my meds. No, I'm not giving up, no, I'm not giving in. I will make it to the top, taking off in the wind. I gotta make it, I'm saving every day to taste it. I'm patient, but my mind, it can hardly take it. I'm chasing a dream that I've had for several ages. A vacant, modern kingdom for the taking.
Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that. Spitting slow, spitting fast. I could roast, I could gas. Think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past. And the pettiness, a reflection of the emptiness. Hilarious, you think you're worth my time, you're delirious. Mysterious, because you hide behind a fake exterior. Inferior, you know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains at last, and to believe in what you got, it was built to last, yeah.
Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and and make a statement.
Gonna learn the consequence of being incompetent. Mental health is confidence, dreams and some honestness. I'm not here to save the day, that's for you to take away. I could play a million mind games, but instead I say something not illogical, something that is topical. Rub it on and watch it go, make yourself unstoppable. Dreams are irresponsible, but they're always possible. If you just believe, you could be so remarkable.
Thoughts in my head, a collage and they spread. I'll be great one day, going off of my meds. No, I'm not giving up, no, I'm not giving in. I will make it to the top, taking off in the wind. I gotta make it, I'm saving every day to taste it. I'm patient, but my mind, it can hardly take it. I'm chasing a dream that I've had for several ages. A vacant, modern kingdom for the taking.
Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play
Hey, hello everyone. Am I audible to you? Is my screen properly visible? Am I audible? Hey, hello everyone. Am I audible to you? Is my screen properly visible? Okay, I think it was my mic issue. Is everything okay? Are you able to hear me? Okay, cool. I have received responses. Cool, guys. Firstly, just hit the like button. I keep on forgetting this. I simply just jump into the session and then realize after ending it that okay, I forgot to tell you guys that you have to hit that like button so that we make sure that this live stream reaches the maximum possible number of audience. It's more like you guys supporting me, right? I still say it's, I think, 4 likes. We have 9 viewers. Please go ahead and do it. Also, just setting up the context, I think like last time I was in a bit of a struggle to give you the QR code. There are a lot of people who want to join the community. There are a lot of people who are coming in from references. So I think you should definitely scan this QR code that you're seeing on the screen. This will redirect you to your WhatsApp and it will take you to the announcements channel. This is basically a part of our community design school wherein we are giving some direct updates. We directly drop you there and it's sort of easy for us to communicate whatever happens out there, right? Now, I think last lecture we sort of ran overboard of time. We were supposed to end in an hour, but we went for like 30 minutes. But still, you guys stayed, you guys watched the stream. I was looking at the analytics, and it's a great feeling for me. Like I felt like, okay, you were getting some value out there. That's the reason you decided to stay and watch the stream completely. Thanks for doing that. Now I'll make sure that going forward we'll keep a very strict benchmark of like 1 hour max to max. I'll stretch it by 5 minutes. I'll not go beyond it. If required, maybe we'll split the lecture like as we did in the last part, right? Maybe we'll do the same way in future because I don't want to rush any particular piece or any aspect of the concept just because there is a time shortage. I'll rather maybe be flexible around those things. Will that be okay for everyone? Just give a thumbs up if that's something which you're okay with. Okay, is it like my chat that's stuck, or have you guys not responded yet? Okay, cool. I think I have received a response. So cool, we can maybe proceed now. So quick update. I think we were supposed to, like I mentioned in my chat as well, right, that I'll be sharing an update with you. So guys, there are quick one or two updates that I wanted to speak about, right? I think we planned a lecture on Tuesday, but I was not able to do it. The reason is that I was actually traveling to Bangalore. I had a client connect and I wanted to get it completed. Well, the update is that now there is a commitment that I have to deliver, and because of which I think that I might have to give them a certain day that I want to start the project around. So I really don't want this live series to sort of get impacted, and hence what I'm planning to do is I would request you to be a bit flexible. I really don't want to put a strict timeline that okay, only Tuesdays and only maybe Fridays is what we are going to do. I would keep it rather flexible. As soon as I figure out that okay, maybe the deck is ready, my information that I want to cater to is something ready, I'll simply post a group. You'll be getting maybe a 24 hours of prior notice, right, for the live session, so that you can maybe plan your schedule accordingly. And let's say due to any reason you are not able to attend live, you will be able to see the recorded sessions out there, right? And because the time is like 9:30 p.m. IST, I really don't feel it's going to be a super challenging thing for everyone to attend these sessions, right? I hope this update sort of helps you around. I genuinely want to complete this series live along with you all, and that's one of the reasons that I'm doing it. If I be strict, maybe there will be some Tuesdays or maybe there will be some Fridays that I'm not able to make it because of the client commitment, and that's gonna be a bad impression. I really don't want to put up that, right? Cool. So now I think we are good. So let's maybe start speaking about like continuing the lecture one, right? I think the last thing that we covered in the previous lecture was understanding that there are T-shaped designers that the industry is now looking at, right? Can anyone quickly give me a one-liner summary of what is the T-shaped designer? Can you please go ahead and go ahead? Like just drop it to me. What's your understanding of a T-shaped designer? Rachna, Nagashri, Komal, Srushti, do we have like can you please go ahead and write about what is your understanding of a T-shaped designer? Jack of all but pro in one domain. That's correct. That's correct. I'll just take a plus one for that. So that's exactly what a T-shaped designer is. You should be aware of the concepts that basically are related to UI, UX, and maybe you should be comfortable in those aspects. But then there is one thing that you need to be really a pro of. Like there should be either a visual design part, either there should be a research part. That's just something that you should be pro of, right? But because and why this happens, because with AI tools coming in, with lot of there is a lot of blurriness that's happening between the distribution of the different roles in the industry. So this, if you become a T-shaped designer, this is basically you securing your spot in the company. You really don't care about okay, this is something which is sort of going to impact my career out there if there is something wrong that happens in the org, right? Now I think Rachna also wrote it. It's going to be knowledge of a lot of tools and pro in one thing, which is like similar to what Nagashri also responded. So great job there. Now I want to take you towards the next aspect, which is going to be helping you understand the brief history and how exactly UX came into picture. Now I know it's a bit historic thing, but trust me, this is gonna be, I'll make it in a, I have created this a story format sort of a thing for you. I'm sure that you will love it. So can you help me understand, like I'm sure that everyone here might know who is basically this person. Can anyone respond into the chat? Like there is an apple, there's a person, and this apple is sort of falling on the head. Can you go ahead and tell me who is this person sitting out there? Maybe I'll give you a hint. He's the one who told us about gravity. Correct. He is Sir Isaac Newton, right? So, can you relate why I took his reference? Do you really feel that gravity is something that was not existing before he discovered it? Do you really think that gravity was not there? I feel that he was the one who was observant enough to come and tell the world, okay, why this apple came down and why did not it go up. So maybe he did some research and he discovered, or yeah, I should use the word discovered, the gravity word, right? So Komal says he's an apple man. I think many people hate him because they have to study physics because of him, right? But okay, that's not our topic for the day. The concept that I want to introduce you today is, it was not that UX is something which was not there before it was known to people. It has been there into the DNA of, the ancient man of yours, right? I'm sure that in your history books, you might have come across a man like a caveman, sort of pushing the wheel around. And they used to do it in a square wheel. Then they figured out that, okay, if I take this off, the wheel might become a hexagonal sort of a diagram. And then gradually they realized that if it is circle, it's quite easy to use the vehicle, right? I'm sure that you might have seen somewhere this sort of a picture in your historic books. Give me a thumbs up if you have seen that, right? Cool. So now why I'm telling you this. So if I have to give you a quick story about, how this UX thing happened, right? Why this domain sort of came out, when everything was sort of, just known, who sort of discovered it, who, what is UX, and, why do people need to use it? So I'm sure that you might be knowing that somewhere around 1970, okay, the story sort of goes out there, and maybe before 1970, unknowingly during 1900 and 1940s or even 1950s, Ford's assembly line, Toyota's assembly line, these were sort of built around making sure that humans are fitting, or maybe humans are being compatible with the overall machineries out there, right? And this is something that they unknowingly did. So they used to believe that the machines should be fitting the humans, and it should not be that humans are getting adopted, or maybe they are or not adopted. I should use the word adapted. So humans are sort of getting themselves adapted to the machine. It should not be the other way around. Now, what I want you to focus here is that I'm sure that you might have heard about this company Xerox. Anyone who is an iPhone user out here, they might know Steve Jobs, they might know Xerox, right? And as a designer, you should definitely study Steve Jobs as a subject, right? He's something which, I would definitely suggest you to kind of go ahead and read about. But why I'm telling about Xerox here is that Xerox was Google of its time, right? Why I'm saying it, because they were really advanced. They were the, I would say they were the first company to sort of do research around bringing a UI perspective to the machines out there. Now, what is UI perspective? So, when machines were introduced, or when the computers were introduced, they were pretty complex. You had a terminal out there, and anyone who is willing to use a device out there, they needed to learn coding, or maybe I should say a system language, right? I should not say coding, that's not a right word to use, but maybe a system language is what they had to use. It was a command line interface that they interacted with, right? Even today you will see that there is a command line. You can do everything that you do maybe by clicking a folder or something, creating a folder. That is all things that you're going to do with command line. That's still possible. But during this phase of, like from 1970s to 19 I think till 1995 explicitly, there was a lot of emphasis on command line interface, and that's how people used it around. But Xerox was one of the companies who was way ahead of its time, and they brought a UI perspective. They brought these icons of folder, they brought separate icons which were clickable and you can navigate through the interface out there. Am I clear till this point in time? Are you able to kind of relate to the story out here? Can anyone give me a quick thumbs up out here? Okay, cool. So now the story goes, and this is the tricky part. I think many of the people who are using Apple really won't know that what happened between Steve Jobs and Xerox, right? So Steve Jobs offered Xerox that, hey, you know what? I'm gonna come to your office. I'm gonna visit your office. I want to see what is the innovation that you guys are carrying, because Xerox, as I mentioned, it was the Google of that time. So Steve Jobs made sure, like Steve Jobs proposed that I want to visit your office and check out the innovation out there. He went there, and what he did was he actually, in exchange, like obviously there is an exchange, there is a trade that might have happened, right? So there is a story that, he gave Apple shares in exchange of visiting the office of Xerox, right? Just for the visit, he traded it. Now, when he went to the office, he realized that, okay, Xerox is doing some really amazing stuff. They are sort of carrying a lot of UI things, and this is how the future of computing would look like. Maybe 5 6 years down the line. He went ahead and he spoke in Xerox office that, okay, you know what, we are doing something similar. Till then, he was not doing it. Apple was not doing it. He went back and he decided that, okay, this is going to be the future of UI, this is going to be the future of how people use computers. And he went ahead and he launched the desktop GUIs for Macintosh, and he launched in 2007 he launched the first iPhone out there, right? So I'm sure that you will find this speech on Google. You can just search on YouTube that 2007 iPhone launch. You'll get a link out there. I'll definitely share it in the group chat once our meeting is done. But you will realize that after the desktop GUIs came in picture, and when 2000, I'm sure that you might be remembering that 1990s or 2005 was the time when the digital revolution sort of kicked in. Everything was going digital. Everything was going, let's create a website. There should be a www.xyz.com sort of websites were kicking in. The websites were not beautiful. They were just sort of websites out there. Someone is trying to go digital. That was the mindset people had at that time. But this thing actually changed the entire game of using mobiles. This was the exact year that the entire revolution of how the application should feel, how someone should be interacting, how the users feel at the bottom of their heart when they are using an application. That is something which Steve Jobs introduced, and I'm sure that you already know the rest of the world was never the same again when iPhones sort of kicked in. Now, every company in the world was talking about making applications, making user experience good, and everything, right? Now, why have I put Jacob Nielsen's photo here? Who is this guy? This guy is Jacob Nielsen. Can anyone tell me if they know who is Jacob Nielsen? His story is also overlapping with the story of Steve Jobs that I just told you. Can anyone go ahead and help me with that? Who is Jacob Nielsen? Come on, guys, write quickly in case if you know. If you don't know, just mention that, okay, I don't know who Jacob Nielsen is. I'm definitely going to cover that for you. NN Group, okay, we have a hint from Nagashri, that is NN Group, which is true, okay. You are thinking in the right direction. Do we have anyone else who is willing to respond on who is Jacob Nielsen? So as you, maybe I'll go ahead and maybe continue here, right? So as you know that when UX, right? When the term of UI getting into the picture, people using the applications and everything, right? When all these things were coming in, if you remember, I just told maybe a few minutes back that people were going digital, but they really did not know that okay, this is how applications should be built. There were just websites, there were just sketches, there like some buttons may not be clickable, some contrast may not be good. So what Jacob Nielsen did here was that he went ahead and he did his study. He started observing a lot of websites, and that's where he went ahead and introduced the usability laws to the world, right? So I'm sure that you might be knowing that Jacob Nielsen is also known to introduce you to the heuristics law. I'm sure that you might have heard this word. Definitely we are going to cover this in future lectures, so please do not get yourself burdened that this is a technical word that's coming in. But I'm just giving you the concept of this is how heuristic laws were born. This is exactly the story of what happened during that phase of like 1990s to early 2000 when everything was going digital, but there were like a lot of gaps. He studied those gaps, he identified these are the good patterns, these are the bad patterns, and then he framed that study and launched it into the world and told the world that these are going to be called as heuristic laws out there. Is that something which you are good with? Now I'm sure that you should be able to remember why I emphasized upon Jacob Nielsen being part of the story. Is this something which you're okay with? Should we continue ahead? Just give a quick thumbs up. Okay, cool. I think we are getting thumbs up out here. So maybe I'll go ahead and speak about the next part, right? Now, I think by now I'm pretty sure that you might have understood why UX is so much important, right? But I just want to emphasize on 4 pointers here. And these are pointers which I'm sure that you will be able to remember when you are building your applications, building your websites out there. As a designer, you have to always understand that users are having endless options, right? If let's say today Zomato doesn't work, I have Swiggy. If Swiggy doesn't work, I have Magic Pin. If Magic Pin doesn't work, maybe I have some XYZ application out there, right? So there are like n number of applications that I can actually go and I can actually visit. So your users are actually not loyal these days. There is zero loyalty amongst the users. What they are loyal to is the experience that you're going to give them. I have hardly seen, at least in the last 5 years of my experience, right, that any user is having a bad experience, but they are still sticking when there are better alternatives. That is not the reality of the world. Now, second thing that I want to speak about is that there was a research done by Forrester, right? This is like just this is just more like an information. You can go and Google it around that there is a Forrester research that claims that if UX is something which is taken care of, if UI is something which is, let's say, maybe 80% of the work is done, 20% is still an improvement area, the application has seen a 9,900% of the ROI, which is return on investment, right? Now, why I'm saying this? What is exactly return on investment for a business? If you remember in the last lecture, I did tell you that for business, right, as a designer, you are a bridge between user and you are a bridge between the business goal, right? So definitely, if you're taking care of users, the business is going to get impacted by how much percent, and the study suggests that it's like this much high percentage, which is like 9,900%. Now, the next point is that 88% of the online users won't return to a website after a bad experience. And this is again a study which is sort of hooking up to the Forrester research that I told you about, right? So you have to remember that, next time when you pick up your sketches, next time when you open up your Figma, in case if you do that, You have to remember that if there is any sort of bad experience that you're going to deliver to your customers, they like maybe just 20% of them will come back and check, okay, hey, is the website fixed? Is the design good? Is the application working fine? They are gonna do that. But 80% of the customers are lost in the first 3 to 4 seconds. And this is where the next rule kicks in. This is again connected to the research that I'm talking about. I'm sure that you might be knowing that 3 second load rule is something which you might have heard of. If you are designing, if you are also interested, I'm sure that if you're a computer science guy, you might all be already knowing this, that the 3 second rule is something that all websites follow these days. And I think with 5G coming in, with a lot of high speed networks coming in, these seconds, I'm expecting it to reduce to like 1.5 seconds in the future. Maybe next 2 3 years, we might see that this is the new benchmark out here. Now, what this 3 second rule states is that any website that you see should, or rather, I should use the word, any website that you build should be loading in just 3 seconds. If it is going beyond that, your users are not going to like it. They will feel that the website is like pretty slow, and I actually would prefer going to a competitor's website. So is everyone clear with why UX is this much important? What is the impact that this is going to have on your product? Just drop a quick thumbs up if you're okay with that. Quick guys, just drop a quick thumbs up so that I get a go ahead, and we will now deep dive into some real world examples of what a good and a bad UX actually looks like. These are more like just some observations. Definitely there are like a lot of in-depth study that we can do around each and every brand that I have a picture of here, but I'm sure that you're going to love these stories as well. So now see, Spotify, I'm sure that you might be using Spotify. Can everyone drop in the word Spotify if you are using Spotify, or if there is some other platform that you use for listening music, you can drop its name as well. Go ahead and let me know what is the tool that you are using, what is the application that you are using out here. Go ahead and let me know. Then I'll continue the story of Spotify. Okay, we have got some responses out here. Okay, so we have Shiva who uses YouTube Music, which is a good choice, definitely worth giving a try. Next is we have Spotify from Komal. Okay. Okay, we have Nagushri. Okay, YouTube Music is gaining a lot of popularity, I feel, because I think it's a 50-50 now. Yeah, YouTube Music and Spotify, we have two users on the each side. Okay, Komal is like, I love Spotify. Cool. And he loves the podcast section of it. That's explicitly called out, which is a good thing. Cool, guys. So let me deep dive into the examples out here, right? So because Spotify, I have taken these examples because it's easy for you to relate. You should be remembering all these, experience of these applications with you. Now, there are 2 3 aspects of Spotify, right? One aspect of Spotify that I want to speak about is Spotify Wrapped. This is like every single year they do it. This is like an yearly wrap of the songs that you're listening to. And then there is every Monday, right? Every Monday, Spotify does create a Discover Weekly is what they call it, right? Discover Weekly. Are you guys aware of Spotify Wrapped and Spotify's Monday thing, which is Discover Weekly? Go ahead and let me know. I'm sure that anyone who has used Spotify, like at least for an year or maybe more than a year, you should be knowing these. You might have heard about these. Have you heard about them? The Spotify guys can just give a thumbs up. I think it's we have Komal, we have Rachna who have responded that Spotify is something that they like. Okay, guys, I think we are looking for more engagement. I am seeing only 2 3 folks responding and engaging with the session. I hope you remember the perks that we have for being engaged, like being active on the channel. So make sure that you don't miss out on your chance if you're active, actually listening to these sessions. Uh, okay, I know about the latest Monday special, which is true. Okay, cool. So, guys, what exactly UX is, right? So, as I spoke, it's more about the emotional feel. It's more about uh, how on a personal level you feel connected to the application. So the reason that I have taken these two examples, which is Spotify Wrapped and Spotify Music, the Monday Discover Weekly thing, right? This is more like recap of all the things that you have been doing on the platform. So I think we have Shiva who has mentioned that Spotify Wrapped is more like a recap of the last year analytics. So I can reduce, sorry, I can remove the word analytics out here, which it's more like you telling your connections that, hey, you know what, this is my music taste. Because this thing of Spotify Wrapped is more like a personal thing, it's a personalized thing for you. And that's the reason that you go ahead and tell your people, or you have that option to share it around, that this is my Spotify Wrapped for maybe 2025. December is near, I'm sure that you will experience that again. This is more like in a personalized event for you, so you go ahead and share that, you share your experiences. You can be like, hey, you know what, he's a guy who listens to the sad songs, or he's a guy who listens to the breakup songs most of the times. So these are the concepts that that actually make you feel personal, that touches you, and you are like, okay, this is where my connect with the application is happening on a personal front. Similarly, the Discover Weekly is more like, it analyzes it analyzes what sort of songs you have been listening to, and creates music that actually is, maybe this is something which is more like an AI suggestion recommendations engine, which sort of kicks in and it will tell you that, okay, these are the songs that you might like. And this is way of, making sure that Spotify understands the needs that the user has, and they're kind of giving a personalized feedback or a personalized recommendation or a suggestion out there to the end user. So these two things are actually connecting with the users on a personal level, right? Now, why the timing is perfect? Can you help me understand why do you feel that Spotify and other applications that sorry, the Wrapped thing and the Discover Weekly concepts, right? Why do you feel that they have a perfect time? Like, why is it a Monday and why is it not Thursday, or why is it not a Wednesday? Can you quickly take a guess and help me understand why do you feel that this is the day that the team has chosen? Like, everything is psychological based, everything is like, there is a justified reason of the human behavior on it. Go ahead and let me know in the chat section, what is something that you feel about it. Right, Rachna. So you have called out that they basically work on our history and suggest out the new songs, which is true. That's correct. To start the day with energy. Okay, Nagashri is going into the right direction. So basically, I'll maybe go ahead and answer that in the interest of time. So Monday is chosen because it's a fresh start of the week. Most of the times, you might have heard the concept of Monday blues, right? People are really scared about, this is Monday. This is like, okay, I have to get up and go to work and everything. So obviously there is a feeling of dullness. There is a feeling of what I can say. I shouldn't use the word enthusiastic because less people are enthusiastic. It's more like, people are already overwhelmed with a lot of emotion, and music is something which actually many people prefer to get over their anxiety, get over their emotions. They want to feel something, they want to feel good, they want to feel energetic, or maybe any emotion, right? So one thing that users will go to is gonna be music. And that's one of the reasons that Monday has been kept here, because it's mostly like a fresh start of the week, right? And you want to do it on a good note, you want to do it on something which is actually relatable to you, which is actually something that you can connect to, right? So this is something which comes in. So I think Rachna is calling out as an hectic Monday, which is true. So I hope that now you're getting the reason that why it is kept Monday and why not maybe Thursday or a Friday out there. Also, there is a good call out from Rachna here that users actually need something new, right? Every single time. So that's true actually. So as I mentioned, it's a new week, a new start. So obviously, no one would like to listen to a music maybe 10 times a day or maybe 10 times a week, right? Once they have already listened it, the hype sort of just goes up and then comes down. So user, they have to take this graph again up, right? So new hype will be created with new music. So this is how the algorithm sort of comes in. So I hope I was able to elaborate the example of Spotify to you guys. Now go ahead and I want you to just quickly search the Google page of 2007 and the latest Google page, right? This is gonna be Google 2025 or maybe 2026. We are already near to this year, end of this year, right? So go ahead and compare these two pages and quickly give me your observation in the next 10 seconds. What are your observations? And tell me, why did the design change from the one that was of 2007 versus to the one that is in the latest 2025 era? I'm gonna give a minute to you guys to think and let me know your thoughts. Okay, 2005 to focus only on. Okay, I think I'm not able to read the message correctly. There's something wrong, but only on search, focus only on search. I think Nagushri is heading in the right direction, which is good. Can anyone else go ahead and give an attempt on what is something that you feel on observing these two pages? Also, guys, also Nagushri, if you can go ahead and drop in this message again. I think there is some sort of typo in this. Google page design changed to minimal. There were few CTAs back then. Now there is only Google search. Limited search option looks not pleasant. Okay, cool. I think you have I feel good that you are able to understand the UX part of it now. So I think many of you called it out correctly. So if you look at the 2007 homepage, right? The 2007 homepage is more like cluttered with a lot of CTS out there. And what is CTS? CTS is mostly like just keeping it basics. It's call to action. Okay, just a second. My mom is calling me. Okay, cool. So it's call to action, right? Now, if you check the page, there is like Google, there is like search bar, there is like many links here and there. Everywhere there are multiple links that you will observe, right? But what happens in this sort of a design is the user gets a lot of distraction. The user actually doesn't know where to click, why to click. And imagine, like, this is the home page when users are not smart. It is like 2007 when world is getting introduced to the concepts like, okay, there is something called as the internet. I can maybe go ahead and search anything and everything here, right? So imagine that this is the phase when Google had that particular page. So it's pretty complicated if you think from the perspective of user. But if you look at the latest page of 2005, it's a very clean page. It's just like very minimal CTS, just a search button, and then all the clutter that you see here, right? There were like buttons out there. They have been sort of crumbled down into a single button. I think there is a grid that they have placed out here. So everything sort of crumble down and put into a corner, because those are the, what I can say, secondary CTAs for the user. But when someone comes on a Google search page and they want to search something, Google is trying to give them a very good experience by giving them the minimal CTAs out there. Is this concept understood by everyone? Go ahead and let me know your thoughts. Like, I'm sure that these are some of the learnings that you would like to put down when you're building your product. Is this something that we are good with? Now, the next thing that, maybe I can go, I don't want to, because I think that, I don't know, for some reason, lives are like on a lagging part. It's like I can see my screen. I think it's still like 60 seconds or maybe a minute sort of lagging, which is, I don't know why. But okay, let's proceed out here, right? So Airbnb, I'm sure that you might have heard about Airbnb. How many folks have used Airbnb? Trust me, I was not a user of Airbnb till like last like 2 years back. I used Airbnb for the first time. Like, I experienced the application, like booked a Airbnb property out there when I think I was going to, I remember my trip. I think I was going to Goa at that time, and I booked an Airbnb property. So that was the first time I used it. So anyone who has used Airbnb, can you give me quick two pointers that you actually liked about Airbnb, or maybe what is something that you did not like about Airbnb? Maybe just two pointers. If you have not used it, just go ahead and say that never used Airbnb. That's okay. I think many of the people are familiar with Oyo. They might be familiar with Booking.com, and any XYZ applications out there. But I think these two are like most famous, right? I haven't used it, but I have downloaded it just, okay, I think I might have to read this comment here. Downloaded it just to experience the app. Okay. I didn't use it till now, but yeah, I know about it. Okay. So I think we have many users very similar to the thing that, I was calling out, that 2 years back I used it for the first time. So it has been in the ecosystem for like, I think more than a decade now. But what I'm trying to tell you here is today, after this live session is done, please go ahead and complete your, maybe I should clear this up. I will go ahead and just give me a second. I'll just clear this clutter a bit. So what I'm trying to say here is, once like this live session is done, please go ahead and do these 2 3 things. Okay. First is, go ahead and do the onboarding, like complete your onboarding. There is a verification, there is like an XYZ thing, right? Every screen, please make sure this is an activity for you guys. Every screen, take a screenshot, like you should be able to do that, and then try to understand what is the goal of the screen, and why do you feel that users are comfortable using the screen. I just want you to do it, right? Next, I want you to go ahead and try booking a property. Don't actually book it, because then, next time when you want to do it, it might come up as a fine to you, that, you might realize that there is some upfront payment, or, there is some sort of a confirmation, but try the booking experience out of it. You'll realize that, okay, I'm just giving you some hints out here, right? There are like amazing photos of properties. These are like, okay, you will feel that urge that, okay, I want to get into this property and experience it. So you'll feel that, okay, there are like amazing photos that these guys have kept on their platform. You'll realize that, okay, the pricing is like pretty justified. They are not like overpriced or underpriced. The pricing is like pretty decent, is what I would say. You'll realize that, there are like many applications. Like, I don't know about other applications. I really don't want to name anything because this is a live stream, but there are applications wherein, there is a lot of hidden prices out there. That is something which you go and okay, I think I can name it, because this is something which I actually experienced. If someone asks about it, I booked a property from booking app, which is booking.com. I think I deleted that, right? So booking.com, I realized that whatever pricing is sort of seen in the first screen, when you go ahead and stay at that property, I actually had to pay an additional pricing, and they told that, okay, sir, actually you have to go and check into the terms and conditions, and you will realize that there is an additional GST or some, I think, XYZ pricing that they took from me, right? So you'll realize that this experience sort of kicked me, and I was like, okay, I am never going to have any sort of surprises. Maybe let me try Airbnb. So that's the reason I got hooked to this application. They have very clear pricing. There are no hidden charges, and you get to understand it. Next is, you will realize that Airbnb has a lot of 3D icons, right? That's something which they use, and this is something which you'll realize on their website. They have some really cool design guidelines, and this is something which you'll realize when you're using their application. A lot of consistency in design, a lot of what I can say, overwhelming experiences during these applications. Using this application is what you will feel. Now, one thing which I want to call here that Airbnb does a really good thing about is that you will see that during the entire booking flow, you will realize that there are like multiple ways that the application tries to gain your trust. They will show you reviews, both positive and negative. I don't know how the algorithm works at the back end. I might have to go and do some study there. But I have seen wherein there were negative feedbacks, and the owner of the Airbnb property had to respond to it, right? So what I'm trying to make a point here is, you feel a credibility of the application by looking at the positive as well as the negative responses or the negative reviews out there. Most of the application these days, they are like paid reviews. They only show you the positive side of the coin, and then you just go back and you visit the property, and it's a surprise that the experience wasn't really good. I'm sure that you might have experienced such of a thing in your life when the reviews were really nice, but in reality the picture is like total 180-degree flip. Have you experienced this thing? I think Rachna did call it out that it's a premium feeling that the application has, which is actually true. It does give you a premium feeling, right? Also, one thing I want you to do as a homework is understand the flows, right? And when I say flows, the flow here is like onboarding flow, the booking flow. And I want you to answer on, why is user loving the application? And think it from the perspective of easiness, how easy the application is to use, right? Think it from the feel of personalization, from the factor of trust, right? So there are like multiple things that I want you to evaluate this. And I think I would love to see what sort of homework you have done from your end. Even if it's one flow that you have covered, please, even if it's like any raw format, even if it's sketches, pens, notebooks, I really do not care about the format that you're using. But please go ahead and put those photos into the community channel, put it into the intros, put it, maybe I'll create a channel of learnings or something like that. Maybe I'll create a channel of #learnings today, right? Please go ahead and put your photos or your learnings or your observations into this channel. This is going to be a very fun activity, and trust me, this is the first step that you're going to take in your journey of becoming a really strong UX designer. And this is the title, right? You are going to do the UX mastery first. So can you give me a thumbs up if you are going to do this as an activity after this lecture today? Just drop a quick thumbs up. Commit to yourself that, okay, I'm gonna do it. Even if it's one screen, I'll sit for 15 minutes, I'll use the application, and I'm gonna do it. It's just 15 minutes of your time, guys. Are you gonna do it? Okay, I have got 2 thumbs up. We have 7 people looking at the live stream at this point in time, but it's 3 of them. So should I say that 50% of my crowd is not listening to the lecture? Okay, I should reduce it to 40% now. What about these 40%? What's happening, guys? Okay, Cool. Now I'm getting, okay, number is now at 30%, which is okay. Cool. I'll always have some audience who is not focused, but it's okay. My goal here is to help you learn this concept at max, right? Now moving to the last example. Can anyone tell me which application is this? I deliberately did not put the name of the application here. Can you go ahead and let me know which is this application? Okay, we have Shiva. Okay, he has mentioned it. It is Duolingo. I am sure that if you have thought of design or you have thought about this domain, you might have heard about this application that, okay, this is like, actually giving a very solid experience to the end users. Now, what Duolingo actually does is Duolingo is more like an application to help you learn new languages, right? Now, think it from the perspective of a user, right? What is the user trying to do here? User is trying to learn a new language. It's actually a painful process. Like when you're small, when you're a kid, you just listen to everything. You really don't know. You are like a blank slate. Whatever sort of, is written on that slate, you will remember and recall it for your lifetime. But when you become like 18 plus years, right, you already are in the process of, consuming a lot of knowledge. You really don't know, okay, what happened to my handwriting. You're already in the process of consuming a lot of knowledge. You really don't want to undergo a pain of learning new language, right? Now, I'm sure that if you are a designer, you might have heard about going, you might have at least thought once in a life, maybe I'll go to Germany and I'll, maybe have my meetups with Dhruv Rathi and, maybe I'll just breathe the air of AQI, which is like at 7. I'll get like free education, right? I'll have free medical facilities. Have you ever thought of this? But 90% of the people do not go here and do that because they have a mandate that you should know German as a language. Am I stating the facts here? Like Germany has so many benefits, right? Now, okay, so we have Rachna who is mentioning that, yeah, I learned German language. Actually, which is true, there was a phase in my life when I was also learning German language because I wanted to actually go to Germany, and it's a painful process. It's a very, very tricky language. Why would you want to invest your time in learning something new? But what Duolingo actually did was pretty smart. They actually broke down the complete lessons into multiple phases, and they have divided into stage 1, stage 2, and multiple XYZ stages, right? And there are like multiple rewards. There is a soft commitment that it takes from you, and every single time you complete that learning challenge or you complete those small lessons, which are like more like you learn something, then you do a quiz, you do something, you do go for a quiz. So you see there is a very, what I can say, structured learning process for every single language that they have built. So what users like, I think I might have to check how many downloads are there for Duolingo. Give me a second. I'll give you the exact number of, how many application downloads have been there. It's rated at 4.5 star. It is rated by 37 million people who have dropped their review. And I think it's downloaded like 500 million plus times on Play Store itself. And this is just the Play Store. App Store is a different story altogether. So just imagine and building an application which is like a tricky application in itself, a learning application which is going to give pain to the users of learning something new. It still has a 4.5 rating of by 37 million people out there. It's actually a very, very strong sign of having a very solid user experience, right? Now, if you realize the fact that building a application with a good UX is making sure that the pain is something that the users are willing to have, right? Imagine if the users were, in that phase of, frustration, and there are no rewards, there is no soft commitment, there is no progress, they will not feel connected with the application. And that's the reason Duolingo is a case study which I recommend doing. Like, I recommend it to everyone who is learning design part, at least the UX part of it, that this is definitely one of the applications that you should do a case study on. Why are the users loving this when there is a pain associated with the application? Am I able to convey the point here that, when you are building an application, if your application has a pain, if the application holds a process which includes a pain for the user, how do you solve for it? There are two ways: either you give up on it or either you solve for it, right? Now I think we have got one more response from Shiva, and is stating that same here, I'm learning German from 5 years, having 1500 days plus streak on Duolingo, which I recently broke due to paid subscription to learn. Cool. But I think now, Shiva, at your stage, you might be like, I really don't know about the financial commitment from your end. But at least what I know is, maybe at your point, you might be thinking that I have invested so much. I have gained, like, 1500 plus days of streak. Over the last 5 years, I have gained so much from an application. Maybe it's worth giving them a few dollars and maybe I can continue with the lessons, right? That might be one of the thoughts that you might have gained. Or maybe alternative is something which you might go for, but again, that's a complete different story, whether the experience is similar to what you had at Duolingo. Is that correct? Or is there something else that you might be thinking? Just, drop it into the comment section. I would love to listen to that. I used Alarmy. It's something similar in terms of the user rewards. Cool. We have another application which I got to know today, which is Alarm. Alarmy. Okay. So cool. I think I have been able to convey the point here. Just drop a thumbs up if you are able to understand the point that I was trying to make here. Is everyone okay? Is everyone aligned? Just drop a quick thumbs up, guys. I want to wrap this session up fast. Please, show your responses. Okay, now before moving ahead, there is just one small thing that I wanted to communicate here. I want you to go back and pull up some good examples of what a bad UX looks like, right? And when I say bad UX, it's more from the perspective of user frustration or user getting delayed in completing the desired action. Okay, this is another piece of activity that I want you to do, right? Now I'll move into the interesting concept, or maybe the interesting part of this lecture, that is, what are the career paths in UX design? Can anyone go ahead and give me a quick update in case if you have heard about these words? We have user research, then we have user designer is not something which I should write. I should rather write as UX designer. What are the, okay, I see emojis coming up, which is, I think everyone is trying to explore the emojis into this YouTube live, right? Next we have is someone specializing into UI designer, right? You can go for the world of interaction designer, right? These are like minute specializations that you will feel that you can get into. One interesting piece that you will see me speaking about in near future is becoming a content designer, and this is more like they are also called as UX writers, right? I'll speak about it. I'm just kind of dropping these pointers to you. Okay, Rachna, I think she has mentioned as user analyst researchers, which is cool, right? Next we have is information architect. I'll speak about it as well. This is like a subject in itself, but it's a pretty interesting concept. I'm sure that you will love it. Next we have is a product designer, right? This is also one of the most interesting domains that you can get into, right? And there are like multiple XYZ things that you're going to figure out in your career ahead of that. Now, what are the reason that I'm emphasizing here, like why I chose this slide for the day, is that I want to tell you that once you learn these fundamentals, there is no deadline or there is no dead end for you to kind of grow into one of the things. Now, one of the questions that many people ask me is that, okay, which path I should take as a UX design, right? Which path I should take in UX design? My answer is very simple. Please keep yourself journalized. Do not go for specialization at least until you have been like into the industry for like minimum 3 to 4 years of time, right? And the reason of me telling you this particular aspect is that once you become general UX designer, you tend to gain a high visibility on all these domains. Once you have a very high visibility of the domains, that's where you will be in the mindset of choosing a specialization for yourself, right? Now, getting into a specialization is something which will take maybe 3 4 years for you, but that's okay. It's not something which is you should be hard on yourself that I want to choose a domain, I want to choose a specialization on immediate basis here, right? Now, moving to the next part, which is you know I will be, as I mentioned, right, I'll be focusing on 2 3 aspects in the near lectures, which is information architecture, UX designer, UI designer, and content designer or a UX writer, right? But I'll be like, these are like explicit one special domains that I want to go and cover up for you, but I'll maybe give a quick heads up for you. Information architect is a guy who is responsible for deciding in business world that, okay, the text box should be coming up here, the button should be placed here, and it should not be here, right? They are the one who are uh, giving you understanding of the flow, basically, right? If let's say the user is willing to get something added to their cart, they are responsible for telling you that, okay, this is the path that you are going to take. Maybe they'll make sure that, okay, once the button is here, the user is going to click, then they'll initiate a flow, and the flow sort of continues around. UX writers are going to be the one who will decide what is going to be the word that you will use in a submit button, whether it's going to be proceed, whether it is going to be continue, right? They are specialized people who really understand that what sort of words need to be introduced at every single point, so that it's easy for my user to get into it, right? I think you already know about UI designer, which is visuals. They really focus upon making everything pixel perfect. And then we have UX designer, who is basically, which is nothing but a journalized designer or a journalized UX candidate. They focus upon delivering the experience out there. And then there is a domain of special user research. All they really care about is conducting surveys, understanding users mindset, understanding every single thing that a user is into. Like, they'll analyze the analytics, they'll analyze how the users are behaving at every single point behavior, right? So these are like multiple domains that we will sort of speak about as and when that lecture sort of kicks in. Now, this is the most interesting piece of this today's lecture. I'm sure that everyone pursuing this career of a designer, they want to understand how's the market, how's the salary, what's the demand out there in the market, right? So I want to tell you that the top product companies actually pay really, really well when you are just getting into the UX designer as a specialization. Now, this is, please note, this is for UX designer. There are different domains, or maybe there are different verticals that you can specialize into, as I mentioned. and the salaries will differ. But UX designer is like, I think that's one thing I want you to, like, I want to get you a mastery upon, because then later everything is just tools. This is like the psychology, this is the backbone of everything. So if you see, this is like the dollars, like these are the packages which are in dollars. But if I talk about India, right, I have seen the recruitment world, I know where the salary starts. The initial years, like maybe if you are just maybe in your 1 2 years of your zone, your salary can be easily in the range of 8 to 9 lakhs. This is the starting barrier, right? And you, if you be patient if you be patient with yourself, if you try to master the skill set around, when you come in the bucket of like 3 to 5 years, you will see that your salary is actually in the range of 15 to 20 lakhs, right? And the game changes. This is very much like how compounding works. When you get into the range of like 5 to 8 years of your experience, you will see that your salary suddenly jumps to 35 to 50 lakhs. And after this, you become a lead, you become specialized into one thing, and then you can easily see 70 lakhs to 1 CR sort of packages kicking in after 8 years of experience. And this is happening when you are a two-tier college graduate. Tier 1, if you have done some specialization from good design colleges, right, you will see that the salaries for you might start right from 15 to 20 lakhs. Now, I understand that many people watching my live, you're not from premium colleges, you are from the tier 2 college or tier 3 college. You might have not been from a good design college. This field will still reward you, because it's not about just being graduate from a good college, but it's more about the skill set and the specialization that you're going to build over the years of experience that you're going to get into. So this actually is a pretty solid number if you ask me. Now, anyone who is like a beginner or maybe is willing to start their career, please make sure that if you are getting paid, many candidates do this mistake. They feel that, okay, why should I start my career with 8 9 lakhs? Maybe why should I will rather aim for a 12 lakhs package or a 30 lakhs package, right? They have some really unrealistic expectation and they fail to land a job. And then the portfolio is not up to the par, or there are XYZ factors, and the expectation is very unrealistic, and they fail to land a job in the market. I will definitely cover up the pointer of portfolio and everything in the near future. I think there are many people who want to understand how to build a portfolio. What are the major pointers to look around a portfolio? So I'll definitely be covering up that in the near future. So since this is just the lecture one, we still have a lot of lectures to go, but who are there will be a lot of things to cover up. I think I'm seeing a comment, but what about those who are transitioning to design? This is a pretty solid question. What about those who are transitioning? So there is something which we called as transferable skill. Now, I think I might take another 5 minutes to explain this thing, right? Transferable skills is more like, for example, right? I'll maybe take engineer's example. As an engineer, you are habituated to stand-ups. You are habituated to collaborations. You are habituated to maybe problem solving, right? You might have interacted with your customers to understand their experiences with bugs, and you might have fixed them around, right? So these are like just quick examples that I have at the top of my mind, and these are like transferable skills. Do you really feel that you are not going to have stand-ups in your stand-ups when you come to design? Do you really feel that you'll not be having a collaboration event with your fellow designers or maybe engineers? Do you really feel that problem solving skills of yours are going to go waste? Absolutely no, right? These all things are going to be very much similar to what you did in your engineering days or engineering job, right? These are something that you have to really focus upon, that okay, this is what whenever I go for an interview, one, I'll have a very strong portfolio, so at least if hiring manager is going to interview me, they are not going to question my design skills or maybe what I should say problem solving skills as a into an application or something. I'll speak about, there is a dedicated session I want to do for portfolio, where I want to speak about, there are three major things that you must have, which is like, app redesign. You should have something which is built from scratch, right? And there is something which is called as a new feature suggestion, right? You should be having these three case studies in your in your portfolio, like these three elements in your portfolio. And trust me, your portfolio is going to be into the top 1% that I actually love seeing about, right? Now, the second thing that I was going to speak about is that you should have a strong portfolio and justify the reasons of how these skills are going to be utilized in your new job as a designer, right? Now, okay, we have someone calling, okay, I don't know, curious designer. Okay, so yeah, portfolio is really a great topic. We are gonna go with that. So you should be speaking about the transition that you're making. If you are not able to elaborate how you are going to utilize these skills in the new job, then that's gonna be a problem out there. But I see recruiters asking only rather UX. Is it true that exceptional command in UI? Okay, I think I'm reading it on mobile. I'm having a hard time. Uh, but I see recruiters asking only UI rather than UX. Is it true that we need exceptional command in UI? Thought our interests are in UX. No, actually, that's not true. So, Naguchi, what you might have done is that you might have applied for jobs which are UI focused. There are special jobs for UX, right? So you have to be very cautious, because these days what candidates do it, they simply see UI, UX, product designer jobs. They really don't care about the difference. They just hit the apply button, and then the expectations are not being matched. And what I'm gonna do is that during my portfolio session or a portfolio lecture, what I'm gonna do is I'll tell you there is a way that you're gonna have to approach when you are actually having an aim to crack a UX designer. There is a way to do it. If you're aiming for a UI designer and you build your application for, or sorry, you build your portfolio for a UX designer or a UI designer, vice versa, you will have a hard time cracking a job, because then the hiring manager will themselves feel that, okay, you are not actually aware of what is your calling, and you are going to have a hard time figuring that out. So one thing which I would suggest, Nagoshri, for you doing is aim for startups. Initially take a hit, right? Go for startups, even if they are going to pay you low, but your experience into the domain that you want, that is something which you can get into. I'll speak about it into the upcoming lecture, but just in the interest of time, I'm quickly skimming it through. But I hope that I was able to give you a quick walkthrough about the salary ranges and the market demand. Okay, market demand, quick topic, I'll say. See, UX is something which started gaining traction after 2007. As I mentioned, 2007, 2008, when people started understanding what exactly UX design means. So, in the coming time, the demand is definitely going to increase, because the websites are going to get increased. AI is coming in, the execution is getting faster, everyone wants to go digital. So, definitely the demand is increasing. But even today, 90% of the people that you speak to, they really do not know about what UI UX design is, or they really don't know what this domain actually needs. It's problem solving. So if you are targeting this domain, you are already becoming that part of like 10% of the crowd. Even today, call your friends or maybe someone from your college in your like from your batch itself, right? If you are maybe, let's say, a 2019 graduate, out of 80 people that you had in your campus or 80 people that you had in your batch, count the percentage that actually took UI UX design as a domain. So I know for a fact that demand is huge, whereas the supply is like pretty low, right? So I think you might get my point that demand is pretty huge. Now I want to speak a bit about, this is just like 2 minute slide. This is how work environments are going to matter once you complete these lectures. It's your choice whether you want to go into the corporate life. It has its own perks. You have a balanced life, right? You have your salaries coming in every single month and 31st or 30, whatever it is. You have corporate events that you actually can enjoy, right? You make good friends out there. It's not a lonely journey. It's not a lonely journey. You have your friends supporting you, and you have actually a pretty good, decent time, right? At least, like, my experience with corporate has been pretty good. I used to get a lot of good perks. There was a cab service, there was a food service, everything was like pretty sorted. So the package is also good, right? So it's upon you whether you know what sort of domain you want to get into. Okay, I don't know why this cursor has started flickering. Okay, cool. Is anyone able to see this? Okay, cool. So I don't know what this is happening, but I think you might be getting my point now, right? So going to the next part, which is, you know, your work environment too, which is, okay, looks like your max battery is almost dead. Might shut down soon. Just a heads up. Okay, cool. Give me a second, guys. Okay, give me a heads up. Just give me a second. Oh, this is like pretty slow. I'm gonna put my Mac on charger. Just bear with me for a minute. Okay, I put it down. Okay, whoever gave me that heads up, thanks for doing that. Okay, now I have my Mac charge. It was almost about to die. It was just 3%. Cool. So yeah, I was saying that there are definitely perks of you know, working in a corporate, but there are definitely perks to having a freelance and a sort of, you know, self-built life, right? You can see that, you know, there have been times wherein I actually did not have to go and speak and take approvals of my manager. It was just me chilling out in Goa, having sipping up my beer with a lot of you know, good friends along. There is like good resorts that you can visit. You really don't need to worry about, okay, what's happening out there, and you know, maybe there is some sort of what I can say, approvals that I have to go with, right? So definitely there is a lot of good thing that, you know, happens when you actually go for a freelance model. And freelance is not a bad thing. Like I've just captured some screenshots for your reference. If you see the rate that people are charging, right? If you see this, I will do a UI UX design, mobile application, or a website UI UX, and he is charging 1,863 rupees for building just one page in Figma. Look at the deliverables, it's just one page. Don't you think it's like a crazy thing that the candidate is doing out here, right? Why do you feel that, you know, someone is willing to pay that much of a fee out there? They could have simply went ahead and, you know, simply went ahead and did something XYZ thing out there. Maybe they would have told their engineers to go and build something out there. We have Sheila. She is on Fiverr. She is charging 5,000 rupees for building one Figma landing page, right? So you can imagine what sort of, you know, money people are willing to pay out here, right? Now just a quick check, guys. I'm getting a notification onto this live stream that there is a sort of poor buffering. Users might experience buffering. I don't know what's that, but just go ahead and give me a quick thumbs up if you're able to see everything clearly. Okay, so Rachna has a question that this is insanely crazy, but you know, we don't have that much experience. See, when you do freelancing, no one is actually caring about experience. You just have to lock yourself for 3 months. You just have to, you know, focus on specializing into UI and UX, and then you will see that, you know, once you have your Behance portfolio ready and everything, you can actually start charging clients like crazy, right? If you see this guy who is like, his name is like Francisco Gallo, he is like a pro on the platform. He is charging like 3,25,000 for designing of 5 screen. on both desktop and mobile resolution. So it's more like creating a responsive Figma prototype. So this guy is charging like 3,25,000 for building those 5 screens. So you can imagine the money that people are willing to pay. And this is just the start of his, I don't know, like, since I just have to point out this, that this is like the 3 reviews that he has got. And this is like, if he has got like 3 reviews, candidate, like there are clients who have paid to Francisco. And this is just like on the fly. I just went on Fiverr to understand the market and capture the, screenshots for you. But you can actually go and realize that there are so many things that people are doing and charging heavily, and they are getting paid. So there is definitely a lot of good money. Like, just a heads up, like I think I told you that I was in Bangalore for one of the client deals that I have, and just a heads up, I really don't want to boast about it, but it's a 6 figure amount that we are charging them for a 2 months deliverable, right? I'm not revealing the amount here. I don't want the IT raid Nirmala Tai to come at my home, but this is like a 6 figure amount on a 2 months deliverable that we are charging, and this is just for one deliverable, one client that we have. There are like many clients that we have in place, so you can imagine the power of once you become a specialized person, this is the money that you can get into. Now we have Rachna. She mentions that I have a Notion portfolio based on a case study. Rachna, it's a high time. Please explore bolt.new. There is a session that we are going to have in the upcoming time. Please take your portfolio on something called as maybe Rachna.your full name .com or something like that, right? Maybe some design portfolio or something like that. Have a good portfolio, right? And have it on a website. Please do it. Notion portfolios get rejected these days because AI tools have kicked in, so hiring managers expect good things out of it. Okay, cool guys. Let's wrap it up. Now, in the next session, I'm going to speak about design thinking framework, what double diamond process is about, and how to move from like just having a problem statement to a solution systematically. Now, there is a homework that I have. There is obviously multiple pieces of homework that I have given to each one of you. But this is like an official homework. You have to choose 2 digital products that you use regularly. For example, I use Cred. Maybe I can take up Cred for this example, right? So please go. Okay, so this is bolt.new. This is the application that I would suggest you to check out, right? This is basically a part of vibe coding lecture. I'll be doing that. Bolt.new, right? Yeah, so I'm coming to the homework. Use choose 2 digital products that you use regularly. It can be an application, it can be a website, or any other software that you might be using, right? You have to you have to identify what is good UX and what is bad UX in that, right? Write a proper documentation. What exactly happened? Why did you feel it's a bad user experience or a good user experience out there? Is that clear? Next is, I want you to share it into the hashtag learnings channel that you will be seeing once you scan this QR code. Okay, where did it go? This is the QR code, right? You should be scanning this. You will be redirected to the announcements channel. You will be able to check out the community, and from there you can, start doing it up. Next is, you will have like anyone who is like full-time into learning, you have a bonus challenge from my end, and I have a special gift for anyone who does this. You have to find out we have to find one example where the UI is looking very beautiful, but UX is terrible. Or maybe vice versa, wherein UI is ugly, but UX is like pretty solid, right? And I want you to do this exercise because this is going to help you understand the difference between UI and UX and how they impact the psychology of the user, right? So please go ahead and do this homework. I am putting the QR code on the screen for everyone who have not joined the group or who have not joined the channel. This is gonna be the homework out there. I hope I was able to clarify most of the doubts that came in through the chat section. I hope now it's gonna be super easy for you to remember everything related to UX and UI, the different domains, the salary ranges. I hope that you all are super motivated to chase pursue your career into this domain of UX. Just drop a thumbs up, just drop an emoji, whatever you feel. So that will get me a sense that you have been loving this part. With this, guys, I think I'm good. Again, I went overboard. I just don't know, like, once I start the lecture, I just get passionate about it and I keep the lecture on. But I'll try to be more on constrained onto the time. I hope you love the lecture, you love the session out here. I'll maybe have another session with you maybe day after tomorrow on a Friday, but I'll inform you about that pretty soon. I might have to do some sort of management onto the client that I just spoke about. But yeah, we'll soon have a lecture around it. I'll see you into the next lecture. Till then, keep learning, keep designing. I'll see you into the next live session. And make sure that you spread a word of this live session with your friends, with your colleagues, and make sure that you hit the like button before dropping off the live stream. That helps me get motivated from you all. Signing off, guys. Have a good night. Take care and have a healthy weekend coming up soon.